GM guys. Yeah, we're live. So just give me a few minutes. Let me share the link. Let me share the link to our channel. For those just joining, please feel free to invite anyone you want to and also share the link. Feel free to invite anyone you want to, then also share the link. Just a few minutes for me to share this link to our channel. And yeah, today we have someone with us that will be joining us for subsequent live streams that we'll be doing. Joining us. His name is Achilles. Are you there? Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
us?
I can hear
Yeah,
you
yeah,
very
yeah.
well.
So all right, so his name is Achilles. He's into the crypto space and he's also into airdrop farming. So he's going to be joining us. This is his first time. So he might just follow us through the flow while we discuss what's happening in the market. Then tomorrow he might give us some insight on some airdrops that he's actually looking at and some other projects that he's also looking at. Yeah,
You
so
know,
this
I
is actually his first time, so we've not done lots of walkthrough and also set up from his end. Yeah, so do you have anything to say, Achilles?
I actually trade more than I actually do airdrop. So I'm just saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
yeah.
That's nice. All right, guys. So let's get started. I just shared the link. Yeah. So welcome, guys, to another new week. Let's see the opportunities that this week will present. We'll start by looking at overall market view, what's happening in the market via crypto bubble. Then we'll look at some trades we took. Then before we look at where BTC is headed, direction, and if there are other opportunities in the market. Hope everyone can see my screen, please. Miracle is yet to join. I think he's having network issues, so he's yet to join us today. All right, so let me zoom into daily. But zooming out to weekly, we can see PPN has performed really well. So meme coin has really performed well, like very, very well. We can see performance from Zcash, Virtual, Pepe, Stable, and a few others. But if we zoom out to the daily, for those that joined our clubhouse yesterday, you will recall some of the stuff I was saying that the market is still bearish. If you zoom out, it's still actually bearish. Now, if you check most of the assets from yesterday clubhouse till today, you see they have dropped. Like Dash was almost $40. Right now, Dash is like 36. LTC was around 56 point something. Right now, it's like 54. So you notice some assets have actually dropped, which coincides with what I was telling you guys yesterday. That contrary to what we always expect, that Mondays the market should bump. At times where market is bearish, most times you also need to look at what happened within the weekend and what happened the previous week before you can now finalize on what to expect on Monday. Which is why the strategy of pump Monday, dump Friday is like 70% accurate. It's not absolute. It's not 10 over 10. It's like 70% gives you a good edge. Out of 10 Mondays or 10 Fridays, you expect that 6, 7 will play out as expected. So it's not absolute that it's every time, every Mondays and Fridays, you must see a pump or a dump. It's not absolute. So you also need to factor that in. So yeah, what we're seeing right now, don't be surprised. We discussed it yesterday. That's just what's happening right now. You should apply caution. So yesterday when we were discussing, BTC was at almost 70K, 69.8 or thereabouts. And I was telling you guys, be careful, don't go long in. BTC actually did correct, just the way we expecting. Yeah, so let's actually look at the charts. Actually, what do you think? What are your expectations going into this new week? What are you expecting from the markets basically?
Okay. The dump on Friday, dump on weekend, and pump on especially on Monday. I noticed actually a change in pattern because I've also been studying this stuff, like trying to long whenever Friday, let's say from 6 o'clock on Fridays, and then Monday I'll kind of enter long.
Yeah.
So there is a pattern. I noticed that the pattern is actually changing now. Now this pump doesn't actually happen again. This dump doesn't happen again when we're expecting it to, which is that Friday, Friday evening. It doesn't actually happen. And Saturdays, I noticed that if you watch last two Saturdays, market actually went up a bit. They didn't actually, went up very well or dump very well. They just went up a bit. But I was actually expecting a sudden dump, which did not happen. It didn't happen until Sunday. Sunday night. That's
Yeah.
when I noticed that market starts dumping. And this dumping continues to maybe Monday morning till maybe let's say 12 o'clock. I don't know which market, which is it side. Okay, no, Chinese market used to open it early. Then before we start having a kind of small pull up till bright like Wednesdays or something. But I noticed the change in pattern, and the pattern is that I am not really taking a shot again on Friday's evening. I wait till maybe Saturday evening or Sunday evening or Sunday
Yeah.
evening. That's when I take my shot and then try to close it before this thing. So last two weeks I studied this pattern and it actually went as I thought it would be. So I'm also hoping that this yesterday I made money from, although more one thing I trade nowadays is only BTC because altcoins, man, I don't really trust altcoins again. But BTC is I think I can actually relate with BTC more uh, nowadays. So BTC kind of I'm studying the pattern and I feel like okay, it is actually going through my flow now, which is that dump on this and then let's say Monday afternoon start picking up again.
Yeah. Well, it's just to like look up most of the stuff you've said about the change. I've not noticed it though, but I think I would factor that in when I'm studying the charts, maybe tomorrow or thereabout. I'll factor that in. But yeah, jumping into like our last trade, the last trade we took, which was last week. So last week we shared a trade here live for everyone. We took this trade last Friday. That's why we shared this trade. This was Apex. Shared it. We shared it on our Telegram. So before we able to live stream, we shared it on our Telegram. Then tried to live stream and analyze the trade. So our first target was Singapore, and our final target
Your voice seems to be low.
till now.
Okay, it's better now. But when you bend down, it seems like it is low.
Oh,
It's
okay,
better.
okay.
It's better
Please
now.
just let me know if it drops.
Okay.
Yeah, so last week we looked at this Apex trade, which we shared, and it was based on Apex was back to this level. So we got in with the SL below this overall all-time low. And we analyzed the trade. Our first target was this point, and our last target was this zone. Well, Apex actually went above that and it did crazy numbers. I think it's got to as high as 1 to 14 or 1 to 13, I think. Yeah, it got to 1 to 12. But yeah, personally, I didn't get to that point. I think I closed out somewhere around here. Closed out here, around 1 to 5.5 or so. That's where I closed. So if you guys notice, this trade analysis was in depth. And I told you guys what would invalidate this trade, which was if BTC were to dump. On that day, BTC was almost where it is right now. It's around 66, 67, I think, around that price. But yeah, BTC did not dump, and this trade played out amazingly well. Now, yesterday on the clubhouse, I spoke about this second position here. Yeah, I spoke about this second position yesterday when someone was asking. So I said, well, right now Apex is sitting on a like support level because it flipped this zone. It's sitting on a support, but I said I wouldn't really advise anyone to go take a long there because of what BTC is printing. BTC is looking like it wants to go down a bit. So if you're going to do that, you need to keep a close eye on the trade, watch it closely, and pay attention to what is happening. But I would not really give anybody total thumbs up to go and place that trade. But yeah, this was actually the trade I was talking about yesterday, the level. So if you notice, it actually came back to that level, which that's like the previous resistance that we flipped. So you can see how it's bouncing there, and it actually reacted from there. This was a swing trade though for me. So it was a swing trade, just very fast, and I exited the trade. I didn't hold it for so long. Now let's move to BTC. For Apex, we'll still check if there will be any other opportunities to trade. Right now, it's facing strong resistance here, very strong resistance here. So there's no trade opportunity right now on Apex. So let's look at BTC. Now, if we look at BTC, you'll notice something. This was a BTC short yesterday that initiated. It was a BTC short that initiated. Now, if you guys recall, if you check the video from last week Friday, I said something. I think last week Friday, BTC was here. Yeah, BTC was here last week Friday, around 66K, around 66, 67K. This was where BTC was last week Friday. Now, if you recall, I said what I'm expecting is for BTC to rally up to test this level. That's what I was expecting. First resistance was this zone. Hopefully, we break above this zone. Then afterwards, to retest this level. This will be the level that we present in a short opportunity. Now, as long as we haven't gone above this level, everything still stays the same in the market. Nothing has changed. I said that last week Friday. As long as we're still below this level, we are able to go above it. Nothing else has changed. Everything is still relatively the same. So until we go above that level, we go above this level and now start targeting here where we got that huge break. This was where BTC crashed and gave us a new all-time low for this year, 75K or thereabout. Until we get to this level and we're able to flip this zone, 79K, that's where we can see things are looking quite reasonable. But for now, everything still stays the same. If BTC stays like this till the end of the month, we're still as bearish as ever before. But if BTC closes somewhere around here, then you can see there is a chance that we can still go up to 90 before we resume the downward movement. So these are like things that you should pay attention to. For entry opportunities now for BTC, there are not entry opportunities yet for BTC. If I go down to lower time frame, you'll notice a trade I was about to scalp this morning, but I've exited that position. Let me go down to 15 minutes. Yeah, this is it. There's a trade I was about to scalp this morning. This one failed. This one I exited at 1-to-1 for this one. I exited at 1-to-1 just this morning. This was exited at 1-to-1. These are lower time frame trades just for scalping. This one failed, while this one exited at 1-to-1. This failed because I didn't move SL to break even on time, and it went and took me out. While this one, I think this was yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday. While this one actually played out, and I was able to secure at 1-to-1 before exiting the trade. So right now, there are no entry opportunities for BTC for now. No entry opportunities yet for BTC. This trade, I think I've exited this overall trade when it started retracing back to this level. I think I exited this trade. So no opportunities yet, but overall outlook, let's see what we're expecting from BTC this week. Looking at price action, what to expect. So if we check based on yesterday, you find out that BTC rejected at this level again. You can see lots of rejections all the way previous days, and you can see like a huge rejection here too on Saturday and Sunday. So it's only fair to expect that this week would attempt to still try this level if we're going to go past it. But if we fail to Monday, Tuesday, then we're going to inevitably come all the way back down. That's what I'm expecting. So today, Monday, we should try to make a reach for this level again. Another attempt for this level. If we're unable to, Monday, Tuesday, we should now start going back down. This is like personally my expectation for BTC. But if we're able to go past this level, good, then we should start hunting for some longs short term. Yeah, so actually, what's your price outlook? What are you expecting? Are you expecting today or this week, rather?
Okay,
What are you expecting this week?
okay. For me this week, I am expecting that
You can share your
Bitcoin.
screen. You can share your screen though if you want.
Oh,
Just
oh,
click on
oh.
present. You can share your screen.
Wait. I should just click on where.
Present. Click on present.
Okay, share
Then
screen.
you see an option to share your screen.
Okay. Share
Have you seen
screen.
it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then while he's trying to figure out that, there's a trade I'm anticipating on River. This is it. If you guys recall, this is the last time we took the River long. This is it, which played out well. Now River is back to that position again. Yesterday I told you guys, based on the signs from BTC, River was around $13 yesterday. So I was like, it's just to chill and exercise patience. This position is something I had taken on Saturday, but I exited back at break even. I didn't protect profit, so I exited again at break even. So I was just watching it. So you can also still keep your eyes on this River trade. Entry is at 13.2. Stop loss is at 9.7 or 9.8. TP, full TP is at 21.9. It's a 1 to 2.5 trade for River. So you can still pay attention to this trade. The only thing that would invalidate this trade is if BTC does an aggressive dump. BTC does an aggressive dump like 65, 64. Right now, BTC is at 68.5. If it dumps aggressively to like 64, 65, aggressively, not slowly, aggressively to 64, 65, to most likely invalidate this trade because River will be forced to create a new all-time low, not overall, or based on this protected low that we have here, to be forced to go below it. All right, so I can see your screen. Let me add your screen while I drop mine. All right, so your screen is
Okay.
visible now.
Okay. Okay. So my plan for this week, just like you said, we are still very bearish on crypto, on Bitcoin in particular. And Bitcoin is actually the leader of all markets, of all crypto markets. So whatever Bitcoin is doing, others are due to follow suit. So I am always looking for short position, and then for any long position should be just be in a small, just very small. Let's say a day. If any open or any long position I'm taking, it won't last for a day. Then I'll close it. Then for this week, I'm actually expecting that we might see Bitcoin again. Probably, I'm hoping that it might just go up probably to at least 71 because I had a position open at 71,000 or 71,000 from 70,000 to 71,000
Yeah.
last week. It didn't actually hit. So although that I kind of entered at 70,000 again, but I'm actually expecting that to see Bitcoin maybe again at 70,000 at least before I can actually start shorting. Then why putting my this thing low stop loss are very high, Sha. For stop loss are very high. So, but I'm hoping that we might see Bitcoin touch 70 at touch this other block this week. It might just keep going up until we kind of then we might just go down again. Then I will next going down. But my main target is another 65. We getting back to 65 again, probably by maybe before the end of this week. I don't know whether it will happen. It might happen. It might not happen. But for now, my target is to kind of wait for Bitcoin here because if you are just to use this a day charts here, all these things might take time to happen. So for easy trade, yeah, easy trade for to this week or for today, I'm targeting 70,000. Yes, from 70,000 Then I'll start looking for trade again to short. Then why keeping an eye at 70,000? At least why keeping an eye at 71,000? So from this place, then I might feel like okay, we might just go up again till maybe this my range, which is 72 again, before I can start at maybe try another shot. But yes, we are very bearish, and I'm always looking for shorts. For altcoins, honestly, so you mentioned River. Okay, it can also go, but like I said, I just trade mainly Bitcoin. I don't really trade altcoins. So just my main focus is Bitcoin, and also I follow pattern. Like I study mostly pattern that was there last week. So I try to know, okay, when the Bitcoin go down, let's say on Monday, kind of write it down. What the Bitcoin do on Tuesday? So next week I try to follow the same pattern to know whether it will actually work. So I'm hoping that this week it might actually work. So this week go up, then from Thursday, when is it Thursday? I might have to short Bitcoin again. Then Friday again we kind of long it at least in the morning till let's say midnight to know what will come out from it. So that is my plan for Bitcoin. I'm waiting for it right now to touch from 70,000. Then I'll know when to short.
All right, that's great. That's great. Please, those watching, feel free to share the link, invite anyone you want to invite, like, share, subscribe to the channels, and also follow, depending on where you're watching from. If it's Twitter, that's X, or from YouTube, depending. Please feel free to do that. So next, before we take questions, drop your questions, please, because we'll be rounding up in like 5 minutes max. Before we take questions, let's look at gold. I shared this gold chart. But before I jump on the gold chart, about what actually said, I agree with the whole checking what happened last week before deciding on positions and the direction of where to expect BTC this week. And it's also good. It's a good practice trading majorly BTC. Keeps things clean and it keeps things straight to the point. And it also helps to give you a form of mastery when it comes to that particular asset. It helps a lot. It just eliminates the noise and it keeps things very simple and straightforward. So jumping on gold, I think I shared this gold chart last week Friday. I think so. I think I did. I feel I did last week Friday. I shared this last week Friday, where like I said, gold is facing a resistance on this purple line, which we've drawn for a while now. This purple line has been there, so it's facing a resistance, and what we're just expecting is for it to get to this point and trigger from this other block, then with our stop loss just at this purple line or above it, then with our TP at this level, targeting 1 to 2. Now this trade triggered and it did almost a 1 to 1 check, triggered and it did about 1 to 1.3 or thereabouts. That's what it did. And right now, it's attempting to get back to this other block again. That's where it's attempting to get back to. Most likely, the dump will continue afterwards. Or if we zoom out, let's zoom out a bit. Let's just zoom out a bit. If we zoom out, there's something you would notice. You'll notice that there's still like some very good liquidity around here for gold. So it's not a question of will gold come down here to take the liquidity to get desired momentum to run up or not. Because with what we're seeing here, gold price is exhausted. Yet you can see how the candles are struggling at that level. It shows some form of exhaustion in the price, which is another way you can use to tell when a particular trend wants to change, either short term or long term, depending on the time frame you're looking at. Right now, we're looking at 4 hours. So you can see how it was having smaller candles and they were not really expanding like they were this level and also this level and also this level. So you can be able to tell. So most times when you see like this long week, that's like a rejection, telling you that price doesn't want to go to that direction again. either short term or long term, depending on the time frame. And when you're seeing smaller candles, it's showing you like there's lots of consolidation happening. The buy sell pressure has dropped and it's almost at an equilibrium at that level, buyers and sellers. So the market is trying to decide which level is it going to be. Is it higher or lower? So that's why I said if you're trading gold, one easy strategy is when it gets to that point, you search for breakouts. Yeah, once you start getting to that point where you're seeing like consolidations, you search for breakout towards the upside or the downside. If you guys recall, last week we missed this dump. We spoke about searching for breakouts here, which direction, but we missed this dump. We didn't catch this dump. I think it happened in the afternoon, between 3, 4, something like that. But we missed this dump last week. So sometimes, depending on the strategy you're trading and also your entry point, you might need, and also the time frame, very important. You might need to be on alert. Some other times you can just set your trade and leave the trade. Like this particular trade, I didn't protect profits, nothing, nothing. I just moved from SL to break even. So if gold gets back to break even, I'm out of this trade. And that's because I was not really paying much attention to it. I just set it and I left it. Yeah, so that's our expectation basically for gold. We're still watching and observing. But personally, I'm expecting gold to still come down. Personally, that's what I'm expecting to come down. Now that might happen in New York session, most likely. That might happen in New York session because we're in London session now. So you might see that play out in New York session. So just keep your eyes out on what gold will do later today, towards afternoon into evening. Just pay attention. All right, so questions time. Let's take questions before we call it a day. So Kennedy is asking River Utilities profit. Sincerely, I have not been able to. I said it. I was looking at that yesterday, but I've not checked the total in terms of profits that they've been able to accumulate over time. I've not checked that yet. The next question: comparing River to Avax for sports investment. Well, that's a tough one, but I would lean towards Avax long term, while River for like scalping 20, 30, 40% profit and also futures trade and all. Personally, that's what I would do. Then Avax Red, I think we've spoken about this before. Red is good, LTC is good, Avax is good, Apex is good, River is good. It all depends on the metrics you're looking at, basically. That's what matters, the metrics you're looking at. For the River entry, we've already discussed that. I've shared that. Entry price for River, I think I already shared that. Let me just briefly share it again. The River trade, here it is. It's gradually moving though, but it's still around the entry. This is the River trade. It's gradually moving. It was around 13.2 some minutes ago. It was at 13.2. So it's gradually moving. So that's the River trade basically. So just in case you're interested in it, here you go. So practically, I think this is the only trade for today. This River trade is the only trade for today, no other trade. And if you guys notice, we don't like taking multiple trades, especially when we're trading against the trend, because overall the market is bearish. But for River, we're taking a long trade, and that's because of the setup that we're seeing right now. That's why we're taking that position. All right, so actually, I don't know, do you have anything else to say before we shut down? Someone is saying, please explain on what network, okay, on what New York and London session is. Well, this just it just basically means when trading starts in those time zones. You have Asia, and you have New York, you have London, I think you have Australia, and you have some of the Pacific and that. It's just different times that different countries start trading. So why those time frames are good, those sessions, why they are good is because that's when you tend to see volatility in the market. That's when volume tends to come either as sell or as pump. Anyway, let me use gold for example, just briefly. After which we're ending this. Let me just use gold for example and switch to. Okay, no need to switch. Let me just turn on my session indicator. So if I turn on this session indicator now, there's something you will notice. If I go down to 1 hour, by the way, I modified it a little. If I go down to 1 hour, for example, it shows you different session and what happens in those sessions. So you can see like New York, you can see how gold started dumping. So you can tell clearly that it was during the New York session that gold actually dumped. You can actually tell that. And you can also tell too that it was during London session last week that gold actually pumped. From what you're seeing here on my screen, you can be able to like tell that it's London session that pumped gold last week, and someone can use that to like come up with like similar analogy what to expect. If you go to BTC, you find out that most part of this February, BTC dumped in Asian session. Most parts of this February, that was where BTC dumped Asian session. So let me just drop this to like 4 hours. You notice that's where BTC saw most of its dump, which sometimes some persons will call it Tokyo session, Asian session, anyone. You notice that most times, if you go to like first week of February, you notice we're seeing most dumps around that time, which is usually at night. So you can see it here. This was 7th of February. You can see the huge dump at night. Yet you can also see it here too. Most times we were getting those dumps at night. Most times, by the time you wake up, you just see a dump. The dump has already played out. So the sessions just help you to check when volatility is high in the market. Then also there are people that trade sessions too. There are people that the only time they trade is in a particular session. Some places only London, some is only New York, some is only Tokyo at night. That's when they majorly trade. So it just helps you to be able to plan your trades well. So for example, if let's say gold is on a particular resistance level or support level and a new session is about to kick off, one of two things will happen. It's either it will break through that resistance level or it will reject. It's just one of two things that will happen. It's either it will break or it will reject. And what would happen would most likely be based on the direction of that particular asset. If it is bullish or if it is bearish. Yep. So just adding these sessions just helps you make more informed decision. That's what it does basically. Makes you make more informed decisions. So if you heard last week where I said something, there was an analysis I was given about BTC where I was saying if it stays like that till evening, then Apex trade should start moving. If it stays like that till evening and nothing happens, then Apex trade should start moving as long as it doesn't dump. That was just me factoring in the whole New York session because I need to start afternoon. So if it stays and it doesn't dump till like 5, 6, then that's good. That's enough time for Apex to pump. Even if BTC were to dump later at night via Tokyo session, Apex should have done what it was supposed to do already by then. All right, so I think I've been able to answer that person's question basically. I think I've been able to answer that question. All right, guys. So I think that's all we'll be taking for today. See you guys same time tomorrow, 10 in the morning. And actually, it was nice having you here. So we should do some of the setup in the morning before we go live.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, guys. Bye,
So
guys.
bye.